Only this much of students. Where are the others? Prathamesh, have you posted in your group? Prathamesh is there? Let me take the attendance. Okay, then we'll continue. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. My screen is visible for you, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, yesterday you people asked me the third chapter revision, right? You people asked me the third chapter revision. So, wait a second. Okay. So we'll see the generation of AM. So we see all the topics, okay, all the topics in principle of communication in chapter 3, okay, AM as well as FM. There will be two points. I have taken some important points. I'm not going to derive anything. I'm just going to give you some idea in chapter 3, okay. So here in principle of communication, first of all, we are generating. How many types of AM we are having? Totally, we are having 3 types of AM, right? DSB-FC, DSB-SC, and another one is DSB, sorry, DSB-FC, DSB-SC, and another one is SSB-SC. Okay, so first of all, we are going to see the generation of DSB-FC. Okay, DSB-FC. So in DSB, normally how we are generating, if you want to generate any, if I want to generate any signal, any AM signal, obviously I need two important signals. What are those signals? My modulating
For your
signal,
signal.
yeah,
For your
as well as,
signal.
yeah, carrier. So what is the use of a signal here? It carries the low frequency signal, which is our message signal, to long distance or for any other modulation purpose. So here we are using two signals. See, here we are using two signals. So here I could not overwrite, okay, but consider there are two sources, right? Two sources. So in this two source, one signal is my message signal and one signal is my carrier signal. So these two are different frequencies. These two signals are in different frequency. So what is happening? Okay, let me record the meeting. I forgot to record. Okay, so here you can see there are two sources. Okay, my message signal and carrier signal. So these two different frequencies, when it passes through the diode, so this diode act as a forward bias. When the signal will flow, when there is a forward bias. Okay, when there is a negative bias, it will be short circuited. Sorry, what happened? Okay, so here this signal will get multiplied and it will pass through the diode. Okay, so when two different voltage of different frequencies are passed through non-linear resistance, amplitude modulation take place. So amplitude modulation take place in the sense it passes this message signal and carrier signal gets multiplied and it passes through the diode. Okay, and here frequencies other than the carrier and two sidebands. What are those two? So while we solve the DSB-FC generation, what we are getting? We will be getting one carrier signal, and we will be getting message signal. Carrier signal, upper sideband signal, and lower sideband signal. Okay, so here in DSB-FC, what this tuning circuit is doing, after this diode, it is connected to the tuning circuit, right? L and C combination. When inductor and variable capacitor are connected in parallel, that means it is a tuning circuit, or it can be called as oscillator circuit. So this circuit, what it is doing, it is tuned to particular frequency. So what are the frequencies we are necessary for us to generate DSB-FC? We need upper sideband, we need lower sideband, and we need carrier signals. So these frequencies are tuned and it allows in the output. That is the concept of our DSB-FC square law modulator. So for this derivation, you need two signals. EC cos omega CT, then EM, which is EM cos omega MT. Okay, so when the signal flows in diode, when the signal will flow, when the diode is in forward bias, so my signal ES is equal to EC plus EM. When I am using IV characteristics for this, so I have to use this formula. I is equal to A plus B into ES plus ES square. So what is ES? ES is nothing but my EC plus EM. So you have to add this signal and you have to substitute here ES, and here you have to square the signal. Okay. So again, when you derive the signal, you have to use the formula cos A cos B formula and cos 2 theta formula. So you will be getting here higher frequencies. So that higher frequencies and other frequencies you will be rejecting using this tuning circuit, and you will be passing carrier signal, USB signal, and here you are passing carrier signal, USB signal, and LSB signal. Okay, so this is what square law modulator. Okay, the working of square law modulator is nothing but when two different frequencies passes through the diode, where the diode is in forward bias, then it allows us to produce the signal. Otherwise, the circuit will be open and it will not produce the signal at the output. Okay, then the next one is what? DSB-SC. So in DSB-SC, see the diagram. In DSB-SC, we are using balanced modulator. The heading of generation of DSB-SC is what? Balanced modulator. So here you are passing a signal, that is M of t. You are passing a signal. Okay. So you are passing a signal called M of t. This M of t is 180-degree phase shifted and it is producing, for example, cos here cos 90 is present, sorry, cos 0 is present in the signal, and what will happen? Cos 180-degree. So it is totally opposite of phase, right? Positive and negative. So this signal is given to the AM modulator, and here you are having carrier signal. So this message signal is multiplied with the carrier signal, and here also this message signal is multiplied with the carrier signal and is producing a signal S1 of t, S2 of t, and then what we are doing? We are taking summation of that. S of t is equal to S1 of t and S2 of t. Here what is the definition? If there are two different frequencies are passing through the balanced modulator, it produces AM suppressed carrier. So what is the concept? DSB-SC, double sideband suppressed carrier. Carrier is getting suppressed. We are rejecting the carrier. What we are doing in DSB-FC? We are passing what? Carrier, USB and LSB. Okay, but this carrier is of no use. It is not transferring any message signal. Only your USB and LSB is transferring the signal. Then what is the use of this carrier? There is no use. So what they are doing? So in the next generation DSB-SC, they are rejecting that carrier, and here they are passing only the upper sideband and lower sideband. Okay, passing only upper sideband and lower side. Okay, LSB and USB. So here, if you see what is my output summation? S of t is equal to S1 of t plus S2 of t. Now what is my S1 of t? M of t multiplied by C of t. What is my M of t? My message signal is EM cos omega m t. And what is my carrier signal? EC cos omega ct. So when you multiply this, you will get the equation EC 1 plus m. So when we solved in the, we will be seeing this also, this derivation, a short derivation. Okay, EC 1 plus m cos omega mt is my AM modulating signal equation. So when we are adding these two signal, what will happen? EC cos omega ct and EC cos omega ct will get cancel out each other, and you will be producing upper sideband and lower sideband. Okay. Then the third one is what? SSB generation, SSB-SC. Here, single sideband suppressed carrier. Now what we are doing? Here we are transmitting only USB and LSB. But as we know, okay, let me insert one picture here. Okay. Students, this is visible for you? Students? Okay, yes. Okay, see, in DSB-FC, here, okay, see, you are transferring what? Your carrier signal, sorry, you are getting USB signal, lower sideband signal, then you are getting carrier signal, right? So you are here, this message signal upper sideband is creating an image at the lower sideband. Okay, that means if I'm transmitting hello in USB, it creates an image of hello in the lower sideband. That means I'm transferring the signal twice. Okay, So later what they have decided, what is the necessary of transmitting the signal twice? So what they did is they are rejecting one sideband and they are passing the another sideband. Okay. So here what we are passing only. So that's why we are having here lower sideband suppression and upper sideband suppression. Okay. Here we are passing. Okay. Here passing lower sideband or upper sideband. Okay. So here if you see the diagram, here modulating signal is there. It is 90-degree phase shifted and it is given to balanced modulator. Again the carrier is 90-degree phase shifted into balanced modulator. Then we are having a summation block that is added and it is providing a linear amplifier to amplify the weak signal and it is producing the SSBSC signal. So when we consider M1 of t, so this is my M1 of t, modulating signal. Okay, so here we can say this is my M1 of t. This is my M1 of t. This is my M1 of t and the opposite is my M2 of t. So here, okay, this is my M1 of t. Okay, so this M1 of t, what is my, this M1 of t is multiplied with is equal to modulating signal is coming and 90-degree phase shifted of carrier is coming. So EC, so here EC omega, sorry, EM omega MT multiplied by the carrier signal 90 shifted, right? EC cos omega C plus 90-degree. But here I am using the amplitude as 1. Okay, no need of using EC and EM. So my equation, how it is becoming? Cos omega MT, that is my message signal, multiplied with cos omega C plus 90-degree into T. That is my carrier is 90-degree phase shifted and it is multiplied in the balanced modulator. Next is what? My M2 of T. My M2 of T. So here M2 of T is here. So here what are the signal is coming? Modulated signal is 90-degree phase shifted and carrier signal is directly coming to the modulator. So these two signals are getting multiplied. So cos omega m plus 90-degree into T into cos omega CT. So when we are applying cos A cos B formula, so we will be getting the answer of lower sideband suppression. We will be passing only cos omega m plus omega c. Okay, then the 90-degree will be cancel out each other. Okay, in phase and out of phase. So here we will be getting lower sideband suppression. We will be getting omega c plus omega m equation. See the next one. See the next block diagram. Modulated signal is multiplied with a carrier signal directly. And here in the second block, modulated signal is also 90-degree phase shifted. That's it. Okay. Into T. So here cos omega mt multiplied by cos omega ct, cos omega plus 90-degree into T into cos omega c plus 90-degree into T. When we take cos A cos B formula, you will be getting upper sideband suppression and you will be getting the answer of cos omega c minus omega m into T. Okay, that will be your answer. Understood this? Understood the three blocks? Students? Students? Students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have given, I'm not going for the derivation deeply. I'm just giving a concept idea of for your AM and FM. Okay. Next is your derivation. See, I have written 3 in a same, in a single page. Okay. I hope it is visible for you. Okay. So here, see the first derivation. This is the first part, DSBSC, first column. EM is equal to EM cos omega mt. How we are taking? Normally our cosine signal or sine signal will be there. So A cos omega t or A sin omega t. So here amplitude is nothing but our voltage. So here I have taken voltage as EM cos omega mt, or we can able to write it as EM cos 2 pi fm into t. And EC is equal to EC cos omega ct or EC cos 2 pi fc into t. So when we amplitude modulated the signal, I will be getting ES is equal to A plus cos 2 pi fc into t. Why I am getting like this? Because carrier is changing, the carrier signal cos 2 pi fct is changing according to the amplitude A of the message signal. Amplitude A of the message signal. So here amplitude is changing continuously. So I need to find the change in amplitude. For that, A is equal to EC plus EM. I am taking my amplitude of carrier signal is constant, but this constant value is continuously changing accordance with the message signal. So I am taking EC plus EM. EC plus EM. EM is nothing but my message signal. EM is nothing but my message signal. So now you substitute this value here, EC plus EM cos omega 2 cos 2 pi fm into t. That means I have substituted this EM value here. I have substituted this EM value. Okay. So here into cos 2 pi fc into t. So now take this EC outside. You will be getting 1 plus EM divided by EC cos 2 pi fm into t into cos 2 pi fc into t. As we know, our modulation index M is equal to EM divided by EC. So EC into 1 plus M cos 2 pi fm into t into cos 2 pi fct. Now you multiply these two inside and take cos A cos B formula. You will be getting this formula EC cos 2 pi fct plus M EC by 2 cos 2 pi fc plus fm into t and M EC by 2 cos 2 pi fc minus fm into t. So see this equation, we are getting EC, that is the carrier. We are getting fc plus fm, that is my upper sideband, and we are getting fc minus fm, that is my lower sideband. Okay, so by drawing the spectrum, so I am getting MEC by 2 amplitude. Here also MEC by 2 is the amplitude of upper sideband and lower sideband, and my carrier's amplitude is what? EC. So when I take the bandwidth, when I calculate the bandwidth, what will be my bandwidth? What is the formula of bandwidth? Students? Anybody? What is the formula for bandwidth? Yeah,
F2
Shubham.
minus F1.
Yeah, F2 minus F1. So F2 minus F1. So F2 is what? FC plus F1 minus FC minus F1. Minus into minus plus F1. So what will happen? Bandwidth is equal to 2FM I will get. Okay. Then the second thing is what? DSB-SC. So in DSB-SC again, so normally this is this multiplier, no? You can use this block for all the three, because you are passing message signal and carrier signal. These two gets multiplied inside and it produces DSB-SC signal. So here again I am taking A cos 2 pi FMT, EC 2 pi FCT. Then here there is no change, because we are just multiplying EM into EM and EC inside the multiplier block. So just you substitute the value EM cos 2 pi FMT and EC cos 2 pi FCT. You just multiply. So what will you get? EM EC. Then you apply cos A cos B formula. So what will you get? EM EC divided by 2 cos 2 pi FC plus FM into T cos 2 pi FC minus FM into T. Okay. So the spectrum, how will you will draw the spectrum? There is a spectrum FC plus FM. You are passing only upper sideband and lower sideband. So in the middle, if you didn't draw anything also, it is fine. Okay. So you just draw the either side, that is the upper sideband and lower sideband, FC plus FM and FC minus FM. Again the bandwidth is F2 minus F1. So the bandwidth exists from FC plus FM to FC minus FM. So here you will get 2 FM. So see the waveform here. So compare this DSB-FC waveform and DSB-FC waveform. So here there is a zero crossing is there. That means the signal is coming starting from the 0 point and see the positive cycle ending from at the 0 point. But you see the DSB-FC diagram, there will not be any zero crossing. There is a shift at a 0 point. Okay. Why? Because that the carrier signal is present in that signal. But here we are rejecting the carrier signal, and here upper sideband is there and lower sideband is there. It creates a mirror on the lower sideband. Okay. Now the third thing is what? We are generating SSB-SC signal. We don't want to pass two signals at the end. So what we are doing? We are suppressing LSB or USB. We are passing the frequency of that signal. Okay. So here there is no derivation for this, but we can calculate the power calculation. So how the spectrum exists? It exists only at FC plus FM, or it exists only at FC minus FM. So when we calculate the bandwidth of this, FC plus FM minus FC. So what will be my bandwidth? FM. So from this three derivation, what we are coming to know is the bandwidth is less. The need of bandwidth to transfer the signal is less in SSB-SC signal. And here in DSB-FC and DSB-SC, we are having a great disadvantage is we are transferring unwanted signals. Okay. So here in DSB-FC, I'm passing carrier as well as carrier which is not transmitting anything, I'm transferring to the output, as well as I'm transmitting the signal twice. So comparing these two, SSB gives me more power efficient and more reduced bandwidth, and it is very efficient for transferring the signal, AM signal. Okay. So next we go for the next topic, AM receiver. Okay. So under AM receiver, you are having two topics. One is my TRF receiver. TRF is nothing but tuned radio frequency. Tuned radio frequency. Tuned radio frequency receiver. Okay. So this tuned radio, see the block diagram. There is a receiver antenna. Okay, there is a receiver. So what we are doing? So here we are generating. Okay, we are generating the DSB-FC signal, SC signal, and SSB-SC signal, and we are passing through the modulator. Okay, and at the end, at the receivers, now we are coming to the receiving end. Okay, at this receiving end, what we are receiving is, we are receiving a range of frequency. Okay, that is for example 540 to 16550 kilohertz of frequency we are receiving. Now what I want to listen? I want to listen only 580 kilohertz. Suppose I want to listen only 580 kilohertz. So what happens? This receiving antenna receiving 540 to 1650 kilohertz of signal. Now this signal passes through RF amplifier, and this RF amplifier, radio frequency amplifier, which has a tuning circuit inside. So tuning circuit is what? The combination of inductor as well as the variable capacitor. So this tuning capacitor, what it will do? It tunes to particular frequency. What I want to listen? 580 kilohertz. So it tunes to the particular frequency of 580 kilohertz and it transfer to the detector. Okay, transfer to the detector. So here, this demodulator or detector, both are same. Okay, so this detector, what it do? What is the use of modulation? Multiplying the incoming signals. In the sense, modulating the incoming signal. What are those incoming signal? Message signal and carrier signal. That means the modulator combines the message and carrier signal. And at the end, if there is a demodulator, what will do? What is the operation of that? The combined signals are separated. Message signal is separated and carrier signal is also separated from that combined signal. So here, what is the use of detector now? The detector separates the message signal as well as the carrier signal. So now this signal maybe a weak signal. So what we are doing is that audio frequency signals are boosted up. Now, again, we are using a power amplifier. Why? Because why we are using power amplifier here? Because the signal which is connected to the loudspeaker or some other speaker, even if you are using a mobile phone, we are having a speaker, right? So a speaker needs, if I want to drive a speaker, it needs current as well as voltage. So whatever we are amplifying the signal in audio amplifier and RF amplifier, that is of voltage. We are boosting only the voltage signal. What about the current? So to boost up, to energize the current signal, I am using a power amplifier here. So both voltage and currents get boosted up to drive the speaker, Okay. So here there is one issue. What issue? We need more bandwidth than standard. So poor selectivity. We need more bandwidth than the standard. So poor selectivity when the frequency is increasing. So what happens if I want to listen 1640 kilohertz? 1640 kilohertz. So what happens? It creates, it doesn't create. What happens when I want to listen high frequency signal? The bandwidth of signals will get increased. Okay, so the standard bandwidth of the signal, AM signal, is what the standard bandwidth is. As I told you earlier in the class, the standard bandwidth is 10 kilohertz for AM signal. Okay, this is the standard bandwidth. But what happens when I use higher frequency? When I use higher frequency, the range of this bandwidth will also get increased. So say if the standard bandwidth is 10 kilohertz and the transferring of signal needs 16 kilohertz, what will happen? The signal coming 580 kilohertz is receiving in 10 kilohertz. Okay. If I tell you like this, then you can't understand. Okay, let me draw the diagram. Okay. Okay, see the rectangular box. Okay, see the rectangular box. It is of 10 kilohertz. Okay, but in TRF receiver, if there is a high range of frequency, what happens? The range of bandwidth is getting increased. Okay, so here see the again whatever I drawed in the orange color line. So consider that is 16 kilohertz. Okay, so what happens from the 16 kilohertz of signal, from the 16 kilohertz of bandwidth? Say if I want to receive 580 kilohertz in the range of 10 kilohertz. So again, what happened above the 10 kilohertz, 581 kilohertz of signals can present, or 579 kilohertz of signals can be present in that signal. So what happens? These the range of signal other than the original signal what I want to receive, okay, that signals are getting mixed up with each other here. So what happens? I can't able to select the particular frequency what I want to receive. Okay, I can't able to listen the particular frequency, that means 580 kilohertz. Okay, I want to listen 580 kilohertz. So that signal can't be received in the TRF receiver. Why? Because the previous signal or the higher signals than 580 kilohertz can be mixed up with each other as my bandwidth is getting increased. Here. That is the main problem in tuned radio frequency receiver. Okay. So here next one. So when I'm using TRF receiver, I'm having a disadvantage of poor selectivity. I can't able to properly select my signal. Okay. So that selectivity, that disadvantage can be removed here in super heterodyne receiver. Okay, in super heterodyne receiver, what we are doing, we are using an RF amplifier, then we are using a mixer. So this RF, these two blocks are same. All the blocks are same. RF amplifier, AM detector, and audio driver, then audio power amplifier. The thing is, we need to, the new block which is introduced here is mixer and IF amplifier. Now we need to study this only, mixer and IF amplifier. So what is mixer? Mixer is the combination of product modulator and balanced modulator. So product modulator here, what it is doing? It combines the local oscillator. See, there is one local oscillator driving the mixer. So what happens? This mixer mixes the signal from the incoming RF signal and local oscillator signal. Suppose if I want to receive 580 kilohertz of signal. If I want to receive 580 kilohertz of signal, so receiving antenna, what it is doing, it receives particular range of frequency from 540 to 1650 kilohertz. This RF amplifier, it amplifies it acts as a tuning circuit and it requires 580 kilohertz. Now this 580 kilohertz and my local oscillator signal are tuned to particular frequency, where the particular frequency to drive to produce the output of IF amplifier. Now we know that IF frequency, what is the range of IF frequency? The standard value it is 450 kilohertz. 450 kilohertz is the standard IF intermediate frequency, intermediate frequency. Whatever I want to listen, when I adjust the local oscillator as well as the mixer RF amplifier, because RF amplifier which has tuning, local oscillator which also has tuning circuit, so these two are gauged tuning, okay, tuned to the particular frequency to produce IF amplifier, that is a 455 kilohertz, okay, to 455 kilohertz to, and it sends to the AM detector. Okay, for this mixer which multiplied these two signal, and what happens, it produces upper sideband and lower sideband signal. That's a higher frequency and lower frequency it will produce. Okay, if I want to listen 580, so it will produce me 583. Some signal is increased as well as decreased signal it will be producing, and again this product modulator is given to band pass filter. This band pass filter allows the signal with either whatever the signal we want. If we want up converted signal, it will produce me up converted signal, or it will give me down converted signal. Okay, that band pass filter is given to the IF amplifier. Now this IF amplifier only amplifies the IF frequency. Other than the frequency is not, it will not allow us to transmit. So what happens? We need this 455 kilohertz at this point after this mixer. So what is the procedure to get 455 kilohertz here? We need to tune this local oscillator and RF amplifier to this particular frequency, and we transmit the signal. So coming to the point here. So what is the disadvantage of tuned radio frequency? We can't able to select the particular frequency properly. Okay, but here there is a standard intermediate frequency as we are using here, 455 kilohertz. This frequency always here we are receiving 455 kilohertz. Always we are receiving 455 kilohertz. That means the disadvantages is overcome in super heterodyne receiver. Here there is a proper selectivity. Why? Because always whatever signal we want to receive, we are tuned to that particular frequency to receive that signal. Okay, 455 kilohertz. So now there is a problem in super heterodyne receiver. What is that problem? When there is an increase in frequency, it creates an image on the either side. So what happens if I want to receive 1650 kilohertz of signal? What will happen? This product modulator multiplied and it passes the down converted signal to receive this 445 kilohertz. So what happens? Whatever I am receiving it in the 650 kilohertz original signal, it creates an image on the higher frequency range of signal. So what happens? There is an image frequency is created on the higher frequency part. That is a disadvantage in super heterodyne receiver. So now how can I remove that image frequency? I need to use one band pass filter. I need to use one band pass filter when I use higher frequency of signal. So this what it will allow? It will allow only the original signal, and the image frequency part it will be rejected. Okay. So next question, next one is what? FM generation. Next is what? So from this we are completing AM signal, AM generation, DSBSC, SSBSC, DSBFC, then generation receiver. All these topics we have completed. Now we are going for FM generation. So under FM generation there are two topics. One is generation, another one is modulation. So demodulation. So here in FM generation, we are having a direct method called varactor diode modulator. Varactor diode modulator. So here we are using a simple tuned circuit, that is LC combination, and it is connected with a varactor diode. Now this varactor diode, which has act as a reversed biased PN junction. Okay, reversed biased PN junction. That so we are considering the capacitance of that varactor diode. Okay, so normally capacitance is equal to epsilon A divided by D. D is what? Depletion width. So instead of D, I have put W. W is for width. Okay, W is for width. So width is in the sense, if I am having PN junction diode, so what happens when it is in reverse bias? When the amplitude of, suppose the message signal is coming, so every time the message signal's amplitude will not be the same. It can be 0.2, it can be 0.3, it can be 0, and it can be 1. So it depends on the signal. The amplitude of the signal gets varies. So what happens when the amplitude changes? The capacitance also changes. How the capacitance changes? Because when we pass some amplitude, when the PN junction is reverse bias, what happens? The depletion width gets increased or decreased. When depletion width get increased, see, width and capacitance are indirectly proportional with each other. So when the depletion width increases, my capacitance will decrease. When my depletion width decreases, my capacitance will increase. So what happened? My capacitance is changing. That's why I'm taking here del C of X of t. X of t is nothing but my message signal. Okay. The X of t is nothing but amplitude of message signal. Okay. So we are having variable capacitance value here. So, so this capacitance value depends upon the amplitude message signal. We want to, what is the FM generation? What is FM frequency? What is the definition of FM? Carrier frequency is changing according to the frequency of message signal. Okay, it depends upon the frequency of message signal. When the frequencies of message signal is changes, my carrier frequency will also get changes. So what happens when we are receiving amplitude change of message signal? Then our capacitance will also vary. Depend upon this capacitance vary, my frequency of the carrier signal will change at the modulating side. That is the concept of direct method. Okay, the concept is only this. Then we are having some derivation, small derivation that you study. Okay, then the next one is what? Indirect method. So here in indirect method we are using phase shift. So here we are having a crystal oscillator which has 1 megahertz of frequency. Okay, we are having a crystal oscillator that produces 1 megahertz of frequency, a particular frequency which is produced, and this signal is given to the buffer. Buffer, what happens? It holds for particular time and it releases the signal. Okay, then we are having 90-degree phase shifter. That is, the carrier is getting 90-degree phase shifter. Okay, then it is given to the balanced modulator. As we know, what is the use of balanced modulator? Multiplying the two signals, carrier signal and modulating signal. So these two gets multiplied and it is given to the combining circuit. So combining circuit, what it is doing? It combines the carrier signal and the balanced modulator output signal. Balanced modulator output signal. Now here we are having group of multiplier. Group of multiplier in the sense frequency multipliers we are having. Why we are having group of multipliers? Suppose, see the crystal oscillator, it is producing 1 megahertz of frequency. 1 megahertz of frequency. Suppose I want to listen 93 megahertz of FM. Okay, we know the FM stations, right? Some of the signals we will be listening 93.8 FM, 93.6 FM, like that. So here, if I want to listen 93.8 FM station, 93.8 megahertz of signal. So how can I receive? My crystal oscillator is producing only 1 megahertz of signal, but I need to listen 93.8 megahertz of signal. Then how can I produce? Here I can, for that I'm using a group of multipliers. It can be act as a frequency doubler or frequency tripler. It multiplies the frequency and it producing the signal and it gives some signal. Now again mixer and crystal oscillator is there. So what this mixer and crystal oscillator will do? It will tuned to the frequency what I want to receive. I want to receive 93.8 FM. So this crystal oscillator and the group of multiplier which will be gauged tuning, it tuned to 93.8 FM and it transfers the signal to the class C power amplifier and we can receive the 93.8 FM here. Okay, so there is the concept of indirect method. Now the last topic, which is FM demodulator. FM demodulator. So under FM demodulator, so this is the first block diagram. Okay, first block, that is we are giving input FM signal. Then we are having a differentiator circuit. Then we are having envelope detector. Then we are receiving our original signal. So here for this differentiator circuit, again I am using what? Tuning circuit. I am using tuning circuit. Now this tuning circuit which is connected to the diode, this is connected to the forward bias diode and it produces the output. Okay, now when the diode is in forward bias, I will be receiving the signal. When it is in reversed bias, I will not receiving any signal. Now it completely depends on the phase of that of the signal which we are transmitting here. So here this tuned circuit, as we study the characteristics of tuned circuit, it receives FC, FC plus del F and FC minus del F. So we are having three cases. So when I am at FC, when I am at carrier frequency, not a carrier frequency, cutoff frequency, FC. So here when I am using FC here, what happens? What happens when I am receiving FC? This V3, that is intermediate inductor which is connected here. Okay, the voltage across this inductor is what? V3. So this V3, okay, when the signal is passing into V3, so the current flows like this. Okay, current flows like this. Okay, it is not controlling. It's not coming. Okay, so here the current flows in opposite phase. Okay, that is inward direction. Okay, so what happens? These V1 and V2 are out of phase. So I am getting the output voltage V0 is equal to V02 minus V01, V02 minus V01. So what happens when I at FC, my output voltage both are equal. My output voltage both are equal. So when I am using FC plus del F, FC plus del F, my phase of the first circuit will get increased. My phase of first circuit will get increased and the phase of second circuit will get decreased. So what happens? My VA1 will be greater than VA2. I am receiving the positive signal. When I am using FC minus del F, what happens? The phase upon the second voltage, that's the second circuit, will get increased and the first one will get decreased. So I will receive my negative signal. So this is what I want to receive, right? I need to receive when I am using an FM signal. There will be some upper sideband, sorry, there will be some positive cycle and lower cycle. There will not be any upper sideband, lower sideband, carrier and all. So here there is a single signal with varying frequency, higher frequencies or lower frequencies. The signal has positive cycle and negative cycle. So what happens when I'm using FC plus del F? FC plus del F. When I pass high frequency signal, so it will give me positive response, and when I pass the FC minus del F of signal, it will pass the negative signal, negative sideband. So what happens, there is one issue here. Here the amplitude noise is introduced. There are lots of noise to receive here. So what happens when we are receiving the signal, we are receiving some signal, our signal m of t plus some noise. So to reject this noise, we are using at the end a band pass filter in the ratio detector. In the ratio detector, what we are using? We are using a band pass filter. We are using a band pass filter here. Okay, we are using a band pass filter here. So this band pass filter, we are having this circuit. See that below diagram, we are having a circuit with capacitors and resistor combination. Okay, so here there is two change. One is the diode, second diode. See that the second diode here, it is reverse biased. And see the first diode, it is forward biased. So what happens in my output? So both the signals are in phase. Okay, when the diode is in reverse bias, what happens when I tune to the particular frequency FC or FC plus del F or FC minus del F, what happens? These across V3, V1 and V2 of phase will become in phase. So my output voltage VR will become V01 plus V02. Output 1 plus output 2. Now I can say that ratio detector will give me half of Foster-Seeley discriminator. Okay, half this one is what? Foster-Seeley discriminator. Foster-Seeley discriminator or detector, anything. Discriminator, Foster-Seeley discriminator. So it will give me half of that output voltage. How it is producing half? Why? Because we need to calculate the VO, V out, V0. V0 is between T1 and T2. So we need to calculate the voltage passing through V0, amount of voltage which is passing through across the resistor. So here I am getting V0 is equal to V02 minus VT1 comma VT2. Now what is my VT2? VT2 is nothing but VT1 comma T2 is nothing but current flowing in this circuit, second below circuit. So what is my value? VR divided by 2. Okay, VR divided by 2. So here I am when I substitute VR divided by 2 here, V0 is equal to V02 minus VR divided by 2. Okay, now you substitute this value here V02, then you will get the value half of that Foster-Seeley discriminator. Half of that Foster-Seeley discriminator. By this, I'm overcoming the noise which is present in the Foster-Seeley discriminator. Okay, understood, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I completed the amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, whatever the topics. I have given a short, short introduction for that. I think you must have, you have got it. Uh, Give me your comments if you if you want any other thing. I need to explain more. Students, you can put a comment in chat box. Students, is that clear for all? Students? Okay, yes. Okay, clear. So now what I'll do is, so you people asked me about FM problem, right? So I'll go through that problem. Okay. See, the question is visible for you, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, you don't want to solve this, just you listen. I'm going to give you some idea. Okay. See, first question. Define the term Poisson modulation and determine the Poisson modulation for an FM wave with a frequency deviation of 10 kilohertz. See what they have given in frequency modulation. Okay, I have not completed the frequency modulation derivation, just you study. Okay, you study that. So I could not able to prepare that. Okay, in the short time, I could not able to prepare for FM. Even I prepared now for the AM, DSB, FC, SC and all in the paper. This one I could not solve that. Okay. I will be giving a short note of that also in with Prathamesh. He will share you. Okay, for that. Within 3 lines, you will be getting the answer. That's it. Okay. See, in FM modulation, you need to know the formula for maximum deviation, frequency deviation, and one more formula is there. Carson's rule, and one more formula, mathematical expression of FM. You need to know five formulas, then you can able to solve FM problems. See here, define the term Poisson modulation. They want you to identify Poisson modulation. So what is the formula for Poisson modulation? Actual frequency deviation divided by maximum allowed deviation. So here so you have to check whether the actual frequency deviation and maximum allowed deviation is given in the question or not. See, frequency deviation is given 10 kilohertz. Maximum deviation allowed is given 25 kilohertz. So what will be the answer? 10 divided by 25. That's it. So you will get 0.4. Percent modulation in the sense you have to multiply by 100. So 40 is your Poisson modulation. So here second question, if an FM system, in an FM system, if the maximum value of deviation is 75 kilohertz and maximum modulating frequency is 10 kilohertz, calculate the deviation ratio and bandwidth of the system using Carson's rule. They have given use Carson's rule, and you have to you have to know the formula of deviation ratio D. D is equal to del divided by F max. So del is what? Del is my deviation. Del is not nothing but my deviation. Okay, deviation is given 75 kilohertz and maximum frequency is given 10 kilohertz. So 75 by 10, you will get 7.5 is your deviation ratio. Now, what is the Carson's rule bandwidth? Del F, 2 into del max plus FM max, maximum frequency. Okay, maximum modulating frequency. Del is nothing but frequency deviation, maximum deviation frequency. So what you have identified? 7.5. So here 2 into, okay, deviation they have given, deviation ratio is 7.5. Okay, deviation is given 75 kilohertz. So here you multiply 75 into 10 power 3 plus the maximum frequency is given as maximum modulating frequency, FM max. 10 kilohertz is given. So you substitute the formula. Okay. You have to study 4 formulas. Okay. Deviation ratio, Carson's rule, modulation, Poisson modulation, then mathematical expression. See here, this is the mathematical expression here. They have given the equation. Okay. They have given an angle modulated voltage. Angle modulated in the sense is nothing but FM. Okay, FM will come under angle modulation. That's why we are using theta angle, and from that we are checking the phase which is changed or not from the angle only. So here this is angle modulation. Under angle modulation we are having 2 types, that is FM and phase modulation. As your syllabus is not having phase modulation, you people are having only FM. So angle in the sense, don't confuse. Angle means FM. Frequency modulation is angle modulation. So here E is equal to 10 sine 10 power 8 is given. So what form of angle modulation is this? So they have given, see you will be, by seeing this, you will be directly writing like it is looking like DSB SC. Okay, so don't confuse. See, you study properly. In DSB FC and SC combination, you will be having cos and sine combination together. But here, if there is both cos or both sine will be present, then it will be sine. It will be FM signal. Okay, so you have to study the mathematical expression of FM. A sine 2 pi FCT plus MF into sine 2 pi FMT. Okay, so from this you have to write 10. So they have given 10 sine 10 power 8t plus 3 sine 10 power 4t. So what are the things you need to find? You need to find modulating frequency. Modulating frequency is what? FM. Okay, then you need to find what? Modulation index. What is modulation index? MF is modulation index. What is the modulation index value? 3. Deviation and power dissipated in 100 ohm. Deviation you have to find out. What is deviation? Deviation is del. So you have to use that formula and you have to find out the deviation ratio, del divided by F max. Okay. Then power dissipated in 100 ohm resistor. So you have to use the power formula if it is given there. Okay, let's see. What is the power formula? Okay, what is the power formula? EC divided by root 2, the whole square divided by R, or EC square divided by 2R. EC square divided by 2R. So what is your EC value? What is your EC value? 1. Amplitude is 10, 1 sine 10 power 8. So EC divided by EC square divided by 2R. So you have to use that formula. Okay. Then see the 4th problem. Same question. From this, what they have: modulation index, modulating frequency, deviation, carrier frequency. These are the things you need to find out. See the first equation and second equation. Combine these two. What will you get? Amplitude is 10. FC is 8 into 10 power 6. MF is 20. FM is 10 power 3. So what they are asking you to find? Modulation index find out kiya. M is equal to 20. Modulating frequency deviation find out kiya. That is FM. Sorry, FM. Then what they ask us to find? Carrier frequency, FC find out kiya. And power of the FM signal, P is equal to A divided by root 2 the whole square divided by R. Okay, A divided by root 2 the whole square divided by R. So A is what? 10. So they have substituted. Same question like above question. Okay. Then what the next one? See the carrier frequency of AM. Carrier frequency given 100 megahertz. Maximum frequency deviation is given 75 kilohertz, del max. If the highest audio frequency Modulating carrier is 15 kilohertz. FM is given 15 kilohertz. What is the approximate bandwidth of signal? So what they ask us to find? Bandwidth of the signal. What they ask us to find? Bandwidth of signal when there is highest modulating frequency. Okay. So here you need to know, using Carson's rule, you have to find the bandwidth. Now you need to find out max modulating frequency. They have given only FC, del max and FM. Okay. So you need to find out modulation index, deviation, then power dissipation here. Okay, so this ends with here. This question ends with here. What they ask us to find? What is the approximate bandwidth of the signal? So you have to use every time if they ask you to find bandwidth. Okay, if they ask you to bandwidth, you use Carson's rule. You study this formula 2 into del max plus FM. Okay, no need to use another bandwidth. If they ask you to find particularly for that bandwidth, we are having three formulas, right? 2 FM into number of sidebands. Then we are having 2 into del max plus FM. And one more formula is also there. That is somewhat bigger. I didn't remember that. Okay, so these from these three bandwidth, you study this formula and substitute wherever the question asked. 2 into del max plus FM. Okay. Then this question is the continuation for this question. This one, problem number 3. Okay. Okay, I will change while merging the PDF. Mistake happened. Okay. So the next question is what? Use Carson's rule. So to find the bandwidth, we have to use Carson's rule. But you avoid this question. Why? Because you are not having the topic narrowband FM and wideband FM. Okay, so you avoid this. No need of finding this. Okay, 7th question. So in 7th question again, same question. Mathematical expression is given, carrier frequency, modulating frequency, modulation index, maximum deviation, power dissipated is given. Same question. So you have to find what is FC, what is FM, what is MF. Okay, then you have to find maximum deviation, del max is equal to MF into FM. Then what power dissipated, A divided by root 2 the whole square divided by R formula. You have to use use the formula and substitute. Then the next problem is okay, in a FM system, the modulating frequency FM is equal to 1 kilohertz. Modulating frequency F is 1 is given, EM is given 2 volt, deviation is given 6 kilohertz. So what they ask us to find? Students, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Students? Okay, my screen is visible for you?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Yeah. So here, if the modulating voltage is further increased to 8 volt, see the modulating voltage, what they have given 2 volt. So first you have to calculate for 2 volt. And again, what they are asking you to calculate, if the modulating voltage to increase to 8 volt, you find the deviation. What will be the deviation? So first of all, you need to calculate for 2 volt. Okay, 2 volt. So what is del? Del is equal to Kf into Em. So what is Kf? Kf is nothing but the deviation. Deviation, frequency deviation del is equal to Kf into Em. This one, no, this formula. 1. So this is the formula, del is equal to Kf into Em. But what is Kf? Kf is nothing but some constant. Okay, Kf is nothing but why? Because the frequency is continuously varying signal. Okay, so the varying signal, to change it into constant value, we will be using for like a Boltzmann constant, we are using some constant value Kf. Okay, so here from this the delta Kf into Em, we are finding the signal, we are finding the value Kf, and we are substituting it for 8 volt. When it is in 4 volt, okay, see, EM is 2 volt, we have to calculate for 2 volt. Then see the second question, if the modulating voltage is raised to 4 volt, what is the deviation? Then it is raised to 8 volt, then what is the deviation? So 2 questions they have asked. So first of all, you need to find for 4 volt. So deviation is nothing but Kf into Em. So you have find out Kf and you know the modulating voltage. Then again for 8 volt you have to find out. Okay, and for 8 volt you have to find out. That's it. You have to study this formula. Del is equal to Kf into Am. Kf is nothing but some constant. When continuously varying signal, the deviation will also vary. To make it constant, I'm using Kf here. Okay, you can see in the derivation. That you can see in the derivation. Next one, same question. Next one is also same question. What they ask you to find out, if the AF voltage how increased to 8 volt and its frequency dropped, find the modulation. Same question. You have to find the deviation ratio, and for 8 volt you have to find. Then you have to use Carsan rules to find out the bandwidth. That's it. You go through the problems. Okay. Then what is the next question? Okay, you. Okay. Okay, you avoid this question. You don't need to solve this question. These are all not important questions. Avoid. 11th question. In a 101 megahertz of carrier is modulated by a 500 hertz audio signal if the carrier voltage is 10 volt and maximum deviation is 75. The mathematical expression of Fm EC sin omega Ct plus Fm into sin omega mt. Just you substitute the value. That's it. If they want to represent it in 2 pi Fm, then you substitute in 2 pi Fm. And what they have given, del max is given. But in your equation, MF is there. So what is del max? MF into EM. Okay, from that you find out MF into MF into EM equation can use, or MF is equal to del by FM equation you can use. You can use this formula to find out the MF. Okay, they have given FC, but you are having omega c. Either you can write 2 pi into FC or 2 pi into 101 into 10 power 6 you can write, or you can convert into omega c into omega c and you can write anything. Just here they have, you have to write the equation. That's it. Then what is the next question? A 5 volt peak 50 megahertz carrier is frequency modulated by 5 volt 10 kilohertz of signal to achieve 24.05 kilohertz peak deviation. Determine the power in carrier. So what they have given, FC is given 50 megahertz carrier frequency. Then power is given EC, that is power of carrier, power of modulating signal, that is 5 volt, modulated to 5 volt, and 10 kilohertz is given. Maximum deviation is given, peak deviation, that is del max is given. Now what you have to find out, determine the power in carrier. So what is the formula of power? EC divided by root 2 the whole square divided by R. Only this is enough. Okay, only this is enough. And what they ask us to find? Achieve peak deviation. Determine the power in carrier. No, power in carrier. So you can use the power in carrier only part. No need of using peak deviation because they ask you to find only power in carrier. Okay. So understood these problems, students? 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 Understood all these problems? You having any other doubt? Do you have any other doubt? Do you have any other doubt? Students, do you got your timetable? Okay, when is your PCOM exam? 29th. So what is mentioned? What is the time of the exam? Okay, 9 p.m. So everything is clear, right? So how many of you practiced your quiz? Practiced the quiz in Moodle server? How many of you practiced Moodle server? Have anyone checked? Submitted. Okay. Okay, give me some time. I'll take the attendance. Okay. Okay, the quiz questions are easy for you. Students, is that the quiz questions are easy for you? Students, please respond. Medium. Are you people solving in your home? Students, can you respond? One of you can speak up. Okay. Okay. So I want to see. I'm not recording here. Okay. So I want to know some feedback from you people. So we have completed 3 chapters. So what you feel about the PCOM subject? Are you understood the concepts? Is there any difficulty for you, or is there any whatever I'm teaching? If you can't understand, you can let me know, or my language is not proper, or whatever you are anything. If you are feeling about PCOM subject, you can tell me, so that in the next tales also we can improvise. So anyone, you can come forward to give some feedback for first three chapters. Okay. So anyone from your class? Will the quiz for module 3? Yeah, today you will get Aditya. Anybody? Students, I'm asking to you people, because it is not a classroom. It was a little bit difficult for me as well as you people for studying online classes. So I need some feedback from you people. Anyone, if you don't want to talk, you put the comment. You put it in the chat box. Students,